Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We
Yes,
got a special
indeed.
guest in the building.
A bounce music icon.
Big
New Orleans
Freedia.
icon.
The one and only. You heard me.
Big Frida's in the building.
Yes, I am.
Big Frida, how did you create a lane for yourself?
Well, constant work, first of all.
Okay.
You know, I kept grinding in New Orleans. You know, for 10 years on the ground, I was in clubs, decorating parties, doing a thing. I mean, every night, like 7 nights a week. And I just kept it going, and I never gave up. And I created a platform in New Orleans, and everybody was following it.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that bounce music come from? Where did that sound come from? I mean, it's so big in New Orleans, but where was it originated from?
Well, you know, back then, you know, the stories that we get, you know, DJ Irv and DJ Jimmy, they used to have rap battles back then, and they started playing with the Trigger Man beat and the Brown beat and the Peter Pipers back then, and they started creating sounds, and all of the other rappers in New Orleans started doing the same thing. You know, they started to create that genre of bounce music, and it went on from there. And then you got all the other legends: DJ Jubilee, Partners in Crime, Miss T, Cheeky Black, Fifth Ward Weeby, the whole line of people that came before me.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, because what I love is when you go to New Orleans and you get to see how people from New Orleans dance to bounce music from a young age, like
Yeah,
3-year-olds.
from babies.
Yeah, from little babies.
I mean, they be in Pampers dancing. Like, they'll hear a Big Frida commercial, Juan LaFonta or something on there, and they are in their diapers dancing. So they start really young.
And it don't matter if you're a guy, a girl, or whatever, they all get down like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's our culture.
How come New Orleans, Florida, even growing up, you know, with the whole like 95 South and Whoop That is, guys could dance like that freely back then, and nobody be like, oh, they're gay. Why do you think that changed?
New generation.
Yeah.
You know, I truly believe that back then everybody was just free and being able to be themselves. Now everything is, you know, social media, the new generation, they, you know, have certain areas that they want to, you know, kind of say, hey, why are you doing this over there? Why they want to judge everybody, and it's just not fair how they want to judge everything that's happening in the world. Even if it's something like, you know, somebody passing out, like when Wendy passed out, people were being so cruel, and I'm like, you know, Wendy is human. She, you know, why are y'all being so evil and all these comments on the Shade Room? You know, so it's just
Probably because it's windy.
Yeah, because it's windy. And
not just that. Even it's just being Wendy. I mean, Wendy is still a human being who, you know, has a family, has a heart, and Wendy has a character to play also too on her show. You know, like, she has a job to do.
It's over. People talk about people's kids.
I mean, all kind
it's
of
ridiculous.
stuff. It's real
And
ridiculous.
even if you look at the whole situation with Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union, Zaya, people are talking about their child who said to her father, I'm referred to as a she. I want to be, you know, I'm identifying as a girl. And they call their daughter a she. And people are like, that is not a she. That's a boy.
Listen, when your parents approve, you don't need nobody else's approval.
Right.
Because when I got approval from my mom at 12, I didn't care what the world said. That was my backbone. She was the one was my strength. She protected me from everything and anybody, and that's what it was.
And that's a great response, too, because your mom said, I've been knew that. Like,
oh, yeah, she did. She been knew. She was like, if you don't know your child, you ain't watching your child. Like, my mom been knew from small. My family used to have meetings, and, like, you know, they knew I was gay way back then.
How did that free you? Because I'm sure, did you have struggles before that?
Oh, most definitely. I was still trying to find myself as a young kid. Even after I told my mom, I still had to develop into finding my lane and where I wanted to be and be comfortable with myself. My mom always say, you're not, you got to be the queen that you want to be. You're not meant to be a drag queen or have boobs and all of that. You got to be your own type of queen, and you got to get out there and show them who you are.
Now, how difficult was that coming out in New Orleans and being an artist? Were people at first taking a liking to it, or at first were they mad standoffish?
So when Katie Ray first came out, they were not happy. She was the first, and they were, you know, they had a lot of girls really supported us. That's what carried us throughout all of these years. A lot of the girls really supported us, and where the girls go, the boys follow.
Right.
So that's
can't
how.
deny the music.
Huh?
I said, you can't deny the music.
You can't deny the music. And Katie started having problems. You know, we had to fight sometimes when we went to different cities, and, you know, because it was something new that people just was not used to.
Right.
I feel like you'll fuck somebody up, Rita. I can tell.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm born and raised in New Orleans, Josephine Street, and a lot of times we have to fight to stand up for who we are and what we believe in. And my boy cousins would get out there and say, "You better get out there and fight that nigga." And my mom would say, "You better go out there. I'm gonna whoop your ass when you come in here."
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do.
You remember the first time you had to fight for your respect?
Yeah, I was probably about 13. All the boys around the neighborhood would always call me sissy and all that. And, one of them, he was just like, I'm like the knock the chip off the shoulder type. And it was back to that era then. He knocked it off my shoulder and I just punched him.
All right.
Now, when's the last time you had to punch somebody?
Oh my God.
You got people to do that for you.
Okay, so it wasn't recent.
Yeah, high school. I don't be into confrontations. No, that's not me.
Now, when did you realize that you were taking off as an artist? Because I'm sure, obviously like bounce music at first was so New Orleans, but then you've seen it expand so much, and we've heard you on Beyonce and Drake and all of that. But when did you first realize that you were going to actually be an international star?
So for me, that year was 2010 when I first came to New York and I started to perform. I did some shows with my friend Spank Rock and my DJ.
Spank Rock. Naeem.
Yeah, Naeem, Rusty Laser, and we did 5 shows here in New York. It was like the buzz of New York. Everybody was talking about it. After that, I did an article with Bus Magazine, my first article, and then New York Times contacted Bus. And after that, I did the New York Times. And when I got back to New Orleans, one day I was decorating the club and I was outside pulling material out the car, and 2 white guys was running down the street and it was like, "You're Big Freedia." And I'm like, "Oh my God, how you know that?" Like I only had black fans came to the club. And it was
you wasn't scared it was the police? 2 white men just running down the street?
No, they was jogging. So
okay.
They was like in jogging, gear. So they was like, "We read about you in the New York Times." And it just blew my mind then. And I knew stuff was changing then. And when it started to change for me, I was like, I'm going full force. Back then I was like, I'm going full force and I'm not stopping. And when that happened, it changed to the next level. I started doing a lot of shows with my DJ. He started connecting stuff. People started contacting me even more. But after Katrina, that's when I really became more popular because the music was displaced all over the world. And people were calling me to do shows here and there. I actually started in Houston with a promoter, Horseman, and Horseman booked me at all the clubs. He had me. They was like, "Bring Freedia." He like, "I gotta see the hell who is who Freedia is." So when I came, he was like, "Everybody been talking about you." I came, set it off, set the whole, like Houston off, and then all the people who we were displaced by, they was like, "Teach us this bounce music,"
Right.
DJs was emailing it and selling CDs at the club. So that's how we got the music even bigger because we were all over the world. New Orleans people.
I'm sorry, how did Katrina affect you?
Well, for me, I had to go through it all. I slept on the bridge. I had to be rescued by a boat out my house. Me, my brother, my sister, my newborn niece who was 6 months, and my uncle. We had to cut a hole in the roof. I slept at the convention center for 5 days. I saw buses almost get turned over. We were trying to get on the bus so fast. A lot happened for me for Katrina. It changed my life. It was moments where I was like, damn, this is real. My brother, me and him wind up going separate to loot, and he got lost. We couldn't find him for days. So imagining people getting shot, old people on side of the road just covered with sheets because they didn't make it. It was really something to see. It changed my life forever, and I was appreciative of just being able to be alive.
Do you feel like the city's ever really rebounded from that?
I say we have. We came back bigger and better.
And more gentrified, because I was just looking at some real estate in New Orleans.
My God,
and let me tell you, I saw something that just sold for almost $3 million.
My auntie house that we stayed in for over 20 years, they bought it for $20,000. The house is over $300,000.
That's crazy.
Everything
to
is
live in the
gentrified
French
now.
Quarters, it's you can't even find anything for it.
What about displacement? Gentrification is cool. People think it's a bad word, but have people been displaced, or Are the original residents still there?
Yeah, they have a lot of original residents, but a lot of people are out-of-towners as well. I mean, New Orleans always has had a mixed breed, but a lot of people didn't come back just because it took a long time to bounce back. There's still a lot of areas that hasn't bounced back that still needs work. But, we rebuilt a lot of the school systems and a lot of the structures of the streets. Every building looked more revived, tons of new hospitals. So it is a bigger and better New Orleans to me. You know, we still have a lot of things dealing with the crime, though. It's still bad down there with the crimes. And, we just had a lot of events over this Mardi Gras season where we lost people getting ran over on floats.
Oh, yeah, the floats, I heard about that.
Yeah.
You used to sing in the church, right?
Yeah, that's my background. I come from the church choir. I sung at my church home. I sung at my high school choir. I was the choir director at my high school. I sung with the Gospel Soul Children, the Gospel Music Workshop of America. That's all I knew. I actually thought I was going to be a gospel singer, trying to put out gospel music, be a big director. And when Katie Red started being my best friend, things changed.
You start doing that secular music.
Well, Katie needed help.
And did the church embrace? The church didn't embrace you.
Oh, they did.
Okay.
I mean, all of my church people, like some of them would even come to the concerts. We was young, and so they actually supported everything that I did.
Why not combine the two? Do a little bounce that ass for Jesus.
Oh, I mean, I'm always, when you come to a Freedia show, it's like a revival.
Yeah.
People be like, damn, I felt like I was, kind of in a spiritual moment. And that's what it's about. I bring all walks of life together through the power of ass now.
Now,
the power of ass.
That's what it is.
What is
When
the power
people-
of ass, Freedia?
The power of ass. I'm the queen of both.
Absolutely.
That's why I get the title. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm the one who made it go international with a lot of people getting the niche of bounce music. I have traveled from country to country, from state to state, from 2010 to now, and putting people on the culture of bounce music. And I was the first to do it.
When people borrow from bounce music and don't pay homage, how does that make you feel? Because you know what happens when...
Yeah, I mean, when you're great, you're great. So I've been in a position to be at the forefront and be the ambassador, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that come and mimic and to, steal the style, and I'm grateful because everybody know when they say bounce music, who they
know.
reference.
People
They
ride for you too. And Nice
Yeah.
for What came out, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Where's Big Freedia? We need
Yes,
Big Freedia."
they definitely ride for me. And with that Beyonce and Drake situation, Beyonce, when she shot the video, I was on tour. When Drake shot his stuff, they came to me at the end. All that stuff was already shot. So I came to put the hype on all the way at the very end, right before it came out. It came out maybe like 2 days after I got on the track. So, the fans, they don't know the insides and the outs of everything with business. A lot of times the artists, our schedules just don't connect.
Right.
And
But they go hard for you. They're like, "Where
Oh,
is Big Freedia?"
yes.
Were you surprised?
We need to
So-
make
so-
sure.
That's the
Drake-
Freedia game.
So Drake reached out to you.
Yeah, they definitely did.
And Beyonce.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Were you surprised when they both reached out to you?
I was blown away.
How did
I mean,
Beyonce reach out? Was it her team? Did you speak to her? How did?
Well, Beyonce publicist called my publicist, and she was like, "Beyonce want to talk to you." I said, "Well, why are you on the phone?" So they gave Beyonce my number, and she called me, and I was just.
Talk to me now.
Yeah, what
Give
she
me
said?
details. Don't
Oh
just
my
rush through. Come on,
God.
come
So
on,
I was
Freedia.
at home just waiting by the phone, like, when is she gonna call? So
Did you
long
make
did
a
it take
snack?
the call?
maybe
long?
like an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Did you make a snack, a little drink? Like,
No, I was just running around the house like, "Bitch, she gonna call? She gonna call?"
How many times did you turn your ringer up to make sure it's really gonna
No,
ring?
I had the phone in my hand just like this, the whole time.
was it a FaceTime or just a regular phone call?
It was a regular phone call.
Okay.
And she was like, "Hi, sweetie." And I was like, I was just, for a minute, I froze up. I died at home and came back to life,
And
really.
you said, "Bitch, what? It's Beyonce."
So she was like, "I have a track that I want you to listen to, and I want you to just get on it and spit that New Orleans shit." And I was just like, okay. So she sent the track. I got my DJ to loop the track because they only sent maybe like 5 seconds. It wasn't even enough to like really.
How are they gonna say 5 seconds?
Girl, listen, it was
That's
not even
Beyonce.
enough to really.
They really wanted to make sure that wasn't gonna get out.
That's
Yeah.
what she would have ad-lib. Freedia said, "Nah, B."
So she sent it and we looped it. And I went in the studio and I started, sending some stuff. Once I sent what I sent that first line, what I sent. I did not come to play with you hoes, all of that. And she was like, oh my God, I love it, right away. Next thing I know, it was Mardi Gras, and people running up to me like, oh my God, I heard you on a Beyonce track. It was probably like 2 weeks later. I'm like, oh my God, it came out. Because, like everything was so disclosed. They have to sign an agreement.
Yeah.
You can't say nothing. You don't know if it's going to really make it. So when it came out, I didn't even know. I was walking at a parade. And
What a great time to find out,
oh, my God. Everybody was running up to me. I heard you on a Beyonce, and I'm just blown away at the parade. Like, girl, I haven't heard me on Beyonce.
How long did it take from the time you record? Did you record same day?
No, it was probably like 2 weeks before.
Okay, and then you recorded, and how long did it take to come out?
2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah,
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
2 weeks.
you recorded it the same day you got the call.
Oh yeah, the same day.
Hell
I
yeah.
went to him immediately. I called him up. I'm like, I'm on my way. I got something for you. We about to do something with Beyonce, and we did as soon as I got there.
Frida, how the fuck you ain't end up in the video? Why was you on tour? Why couldn't you fly in?
Listen,
Come on now.
I had to make my money too. Now,
Yeah.
being in the video, I had to make my money. We worked.
and you
so
got
it's like,
fans looking for you.
yeah, definitely. I couldn't cancel on my fans just
Right.
to be, in the appearance of the video. They could have, maybe put me in there some kind of way, a picture or something. I don't know, but
Was
I
she
just couldn't make
disappointed
it.
that you couldn't make the video?
No, not at all. I mean, she know how I go.
Yeah.
Now, what about Drake? How was that conversation?
Well, I didn't talk to Drake. Drake team reached out to my manager, and so my producer actually, Black and Mal, already had the vocals. So, Oh Yeah was one of my actual first songs back then in 2000. And they used those same vocals from maybe 2003 that I had. That was a hype that I had did in one of the clubs. Because I used to do a lot of the freestyling and call and response. And they wound up using that from way back then. And my producer has all my vocals, so my catalog is huge for anything anybody really want to use for as samples.
And so you and Drake actually hung out in New Orleans,
Yeah,
right?
we did a couple of times. He had I performed with him at the concert for the Smoothie King. He had a few events at clubs that I hosted, and he was like, I like what you do. I like how you just have crowd control and control these girls. And the girls shook from the time I got on the mic to the time I got off, and it was like hours. Like he wanted to see them cut up, and every time it was a group of girls just cutting up.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't credit you at first, right? On Nice for What?
No.
Okay. Was that an issue? Like, did you have to get the lawyers involved?
No, because I got paid, so it was no issue.
All right.
We did paperwork. It just wasn't no credit for us, my name being on it.
What's more important for an artist like you, the money or the credits?
Listen, for me, it's about reaching new heights, and it's about opening other doors. Even though my name wasn't on it, my voice was on it, and
Everybody
people
knew.
know it was me. So, it's just steady breaking barriers. I was appreciative of Drake and Beyonce. Forever be grateful. Just opening doors for a black gay artist like myself to be even on their track. It was a privilege and an honor for me to do it, and it made my money go up.
Word.
Every time when I did it with Beyonce, I was like, Reed, the money go up. When it happened with Drake, I said, go up again.
Yeah.
So it did great things for me.
Did Drake ever ask you to teach him some moves, like teach me how to dance to this
Nah,
bounce music?
nah.
He need to learn how to do that.
Okay? I mean, I think he could do a little something. He watch it enough.
Do you trust these niggas when it comes to your love life? Because, you popping now, you getting a little money. They might just be trying to use you.
I have my old man at home.
Oh, okay.
Devin is at home. 14 years, baby.
Hey.
We good to go.
Now,
We good.
Now, let's play a record right now. What record would you like the world to hear if they don't know about bounce music? That perfect record for you.
Right now, Chasing Rainbows, my new single.
Besides
Hey, Kesha.
that, we're gonna play that one. But
Okay.
what record would?
What's the classic?
It was a classic one.
Oh, Gin in My System.
Okay.
And
I had them.
everywhere.
Listen, I had Envy in here listening to bounce music the other day.
She had
I
me
was
doing
like,
the dances, man. She had me doing-
I was showing him the videos
For
because
real?
I love bounce music. So
Yes.
I'm like, we need to all learn how to do that.
It's
And
easy.
Kesha, you have a great relationship with Kesha as
Yeah,
well.
that's my girl. Me and Kesha about to do a tour together. We have 2 singles, Raising Hell and Chasing Rainbows. And Kesha was the first artist for us I was able to be on the charts with and to really get, a lot of the credit that I deserve. I've done stuff with the amazing RuPaul, of course, and got my credits in videos. But this Kesha was a next level for me. And things has been great with us. Great relationship. We went on a Kesha cruise.
That's
You know,
right.
we have another one coming.
I'm surprised
She's
nobody
a
tried.
dope artist.
I'm surprised like Cash Money and them never tried to sign you all these years.
I mean, Cash Money, they had Magnolia Shorty, though. That was my...
Ooh, Monkey on the Dick.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Monkey on the Dick.
They had Magnolia Shorty.
Hey.
So we always working in our own way. And me and Shorty was on the rise together. Like, me, the week before her tragic accident, me and Shorty had like 6 shows, and we was like, I was running in and she was running out, and we was like running into each other in concert the whole time. We was on the rise together, and that was my girl, and she will be forever missed, and New Orleans will forever represent her.
Yeah. So how did they treat you? How did like the Cash Monies and No Limits, all the artists in New Orleans treat you?
I mean, I get mad respect because, when you give respect, respect is given. You know, I'm very friendly. I'm approachable. I'm a people's person. So, everybody respect me and I respect them. So I get mad love all over. Gay, straight, black, white, everybody.
What's the greatest ass song ever out of New Orleans?
Ass everywhere.
Better than Back That Ass Up?
No, we actually use them as a combo.
Okay.
Back That Ass Up and Ass Everywhere, we use that as a combo. We started off with Back That Ass Up, and then we ended with Ass Everywhere.
There's just so much soul in New Orleans bounce music, man.
It is.
It's like Negro spirituals.
It is. It is. I mean, we come from a place where, New Orleans was a slave trade place. So we come from our ancestors from Africa, and, even the style of bounce music, it comes from West India, Africa. It's a style called mapuka. And these women used to do these tribal dances all in a circle and still shaking that ass just like we do in bounce music. I saw videos back then, and then they banned it from there. So it got lost. But them people was doing that way back then. That's and, right. We do it a different way. It's new generation. We have the same stuff that they was doing back then we're doing now, just a different spin on it.
You ever had to put root on somebody?
Put what?
Root.
Voodoo?
Roots.
Voodoo? Oh, no, I don't do that. No, I went to see a psychic, a voodoo priest in New Orleans, and it got real, He predicted that he saw death on my brother, and my brother got killed.
No, man.
Yeah, it was real.
Is that something you would do again? Would you go?
I don't know, because me and the voodoo priest is actually friends now. So, I probably will go see him again, a little bit further down the line, but not right now.
Did you warn your brother, though, when you get that news?
I mean, I kept warning my brother. Yeah. I mean, I love my brother, and, he was just caught up in so many things, and I kept trying to pull him out of those things. But, when sometimes we be hard-headed, it's,
How did that affect you?
I mean, it changed my life forever.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, Big Frida.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. All right,
Yeah,
let's get into the
congratulations
single right
to everything
now.
that you're going on. And the EP is out, too, by the way, Louder.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
Louder.
let's make sure people know the
on
EP
Freedia
is out.
the 13th.
All right. Well, it's Big Frida. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.